How to use cannabis entheogenically. Well, first of all, let's start with the basics. Breathing it in. Cannabis should be taken only purely by itself, with nothing added. No tobacco, no paper, nothing. Original, pure plant. Hash or resin is a poor man's alternative. Yes, it does contain cannabis. It is cannabis. But it's not as pure as the unadulterated, unprocessed plant. Secondly, when you breathe it in, it should be done through a water pipe. The smoke is hotter, and it's important, if it's possible, to cool it before it enters your lungs. Remember, it is a foreign body, and while there are other ways to take cannabis, and I'll talk about those in a moment, if you're going to smoke it, it's important that you allow your lungs the best opportunity to deal with it. So you're using a water pipe. Now, another misconception, one of the misconceptions about taking in things like cannabis is there is no need to hold the smoke in your lungs. People are under the misunderstanding that the longer you hold the smoke, the stronger the effect. No. The active ingredient in cannabis, THC, is pretty much absorbed into the lungs almost immediately. Holding the smoke in longer than you need to results in coating your lungs with particulates and tar, some of which don't come off. So you need only breathe in the smoke, deeply in, and then at the end of the inhalation, immediately exhale. All the THC has already passed into your lungs. You only need to take in a small amount. This isn't an action in getting out of it. This is not a recreational activity. And because when you take cannabis entheogenically, you don't combine it with anything else, and that includes alcohol and any other substance, you actually only require a very, very small amount. Probably the size of my little fingernail. Cut up, but no bigger than the size of a fingernail. I mean, we're talking a very small amount. The cannabis's job is to just open the door, just a little bit, so you can begin to open it yourself. It's not designed to open the door completely and to keep it open, because if you'd use it like that, then you will need it in order to continue. You will need to use it. It is the one that's opened the door, and without it, you're back to where you were. So you use a very small amount, just enough to open the door, and with that little bit of light coming in, you use that to grow, to change, to understand yourself, to look at your issues, to look at your problems, to look at your life. Slowly, calmly, detached. Not as the original actor, more like the objective director. Just look at anything. Shine the light on anything that you can see. Look at it honestly. See how it feels. As you do this, you'll be able to open the door more and more. and you'll be able to keep the door open longer without any assistance. Remember, the aim of this is for you to open the door yourself. Cannabis is only a facilitator. It's only designed to help. Once you're doing this, once you've done this, you will eventually require less and less of it. The gaps in between using cannabis and needing cannabis become, well, just longer and longer. And you are the person you have become without requiring constant facilitation. Eventually, you won't need it at all. You might use it from time to time because you like it, but you won't need it. And I suppose even then, I don't know. I certainly have gone for long periods of time without using it. My longest period was about 10 years. But I've found that as a facilitator, if you're walking a spiritual path, if you're looking to find the truth, if you want to know what it is, and if you want to feel the truth, so you're looking to do the work on yourself because you have to clear out all the baggage, all the crap that you've accumulated over the course of your life. You have to clear that out. You can get help, of course. There are lots of therapists out there who will offer real guidance in finding your issues and sorting them out. But the work just has to be done, however you choose to do it. But in between seeing somebody or getting help, you do the work yourself. And provided you're doing that, and you're comfortable with doing that, and you feel you're achieving something, and your life is working, it's good. The cannabis is available as a reminder. It allows you to be reminded when you forget. It gives you an opportunity to be reminded of what it is you have forgotten. And by opening the door just a little bit and letting the light shine in, you get to see from another perspective, a perspective that contains that little bit of light, what it is you're doing and why. And it reminds you and shows you where you might be going wrong, or where you went, why you decided to change your mind, why you forgot, why you needed to remember again. And the other way of taking cannabis is, of course, eating it. Eating cannabis is completely different to smoking it. First of all, it can come in a variety of things, so it tastes quite nice. But second of all, it comes on more slowly. The effect comes on more slowly. It doesn't require inhalation into the lungs, which not everybody finds comfortable to do. But because not everybody also finds a sudden change of consciousness, a quicker change of consciousness, eating allows for the effects to come on more gently. But there's one thing to take into account with eating. It's much, much harder to control the dose. It's much harder to know exactly how much you're going to be taking. And so while it may come on a lot slower, it may be a lot stronger and may certainly last a lot longer. The thing about the smoking is a small little puff, a tiny amount, is all you actually need. Taking a lot of cannabis, having a biscuit or a cake or a cookie that's contains an unknown dose may be more akin to tripping, something like a mild LSD or psilocybin experience. So it's important to be aware. I smoke. I have eaten, very rarely, and I've always enjoyed it, but I smoke it. And that's because I use such a small amount that unless I was going to add it individually to little cakes, it's just as easy to do it this way. I'm not a natural smoker. I've never been interested in tobacco. But it's straightforward. It's easy. And as I said, because I use a very, very small amount and breathe out straight away, I keep my lungs as free and as clear as possible. And remember, some people, they go their whole life smoking 40 cigarettes a day. So a tiny, tiny bit of cannabis, it's okay. It's okay.